Dylan, welcome. Are you doing well?
Very well.
You're a regular now on the show,
Yeah.
well, for a good reason, so we'll get into that quickly. And then, Tony, welcome.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
Are you doing well, sir?
Very well.
So today you've brought more Big Save founders, people who are involved in doing what you guys are doing as a brand, and we're going to talk about Tony's role in the business and more about the finding stories behind the business and what goes on behind Big Save. So obviously this whole production we're doing with and for you guys, it's talking about who Big Save as a brand is, the brands that you guys support and support you, and then obviously the world's biggest braai. So that's we'll talk less about that today and more Big Save.
Sure.
The world's biggest braai now is the world's biggest braai. It's going to happen. The record will be broken. We know all that. So let's get into it. But first, let's have a sip of Castle. Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
And to a good conversation again. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
So, Tony, I'm going to start with you. So, last time we got the story from Dylan's dad, Big Save, and how they started. If you can just kind of fill in terms of when you got involved, how you got involved, because in our off-camera conversations, you seem to be the fun of the brand. Like you seem to be the guy that creates the chaos through fun.
How did that come about?
No, well, I'm not going to Skinner, but it does sound like it. Feeding people alcohol with a wooden spoon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well, all that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
these things were talked. You were talked about last time we weren't here, so
Nice.
you couldn't defend yourself. I'm giving you time to do that today.
Yeah, lekker. I mean, I think this is quite a lekker platform to be on, to see, the traditional braai here, and obviously with Dylan pushing this whole event, and obviously caught me off guard and told me, hey, listen, we're going to be doing some podcasts for this. I thought, geez, this is really, getting traction, and I'm proud of him for making it happen. And for me, being a part of the Big Save founders, how the whole, brand was born and how it started. So to be frank about it, I'm the outsider. So when we started the Big Save brand, it started with my now family. That time it was a friendship between Dylan's dad and Louis, the brother. And the two of us used to work for a boss of ours in Johannesburg, and in the fruit shop. So most we were a bunch of porras, Portuguese oaks, who all know us for running fruit and veg corner cafes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to meet Johnny and Louis. And me and Louis predominantly were more closer because we worked together. And Louis and Johnny was actually in another branch. And yes, and I'm talking that's 80, 89, 90, around there. So in 89, that's when Johnny and Louis came to Pretoria to work at Waterloo as a Coca-Cola depot.
Okay.
And I stayed on in this fruit shop. And while working in this fruit shop, obviously I missed the guys because they moved into Pretoria. Those days I had to still go to do my Weermacht, which was in the army. Did my army service, and then when I came out, I went back to go work at that corner cafe or fruit shop in Joburg. But along the lines, Louis and Johnny had a sister. And the sister...
Okay, so here we go.
The sister was, we both became attracted. So I always never forget the story. When Louis got married, I became his best man. And my wife now today, obviously being the sister, she was the bridesmaid. And we rekindled there and we got involved. And in 1993, I got engaged to her. And that's when I started working with Johnny and Louis. And that's how we got involved. And then in 1995, the Big Save brand was born. And that's how the five of us, which included my youngest brother-in-law, Albert, who had passed away in 1998. So we had a plan, and the plan was for the five of us, which was myself and the family, which was the three brothers and my father-in-law, to take this business forward. And today I'm proud to say we're still here. We're still running the business. I'm still very much married to the sister. So actually this year it's our 30th wedding anniversary. So yeah, it's a long time, man. Sometimes I think it's time for a trade-in, but I'm battling to find somebody that.
That's a warning. We're gonna say technical error on the screen when you're talking about that. But just to say.
No, it's all good. And if she was here, she would tell me the same thing, that it's time for a trading. But no, we've got a proper legacy going on with this Big Safe business, and it's come a long way. And yeah, that's how the founders started. Very proud of the team for making it where it is today. And we are in a very strange world nowadays because of what we see going on.
Yeah.
And obviously, us being very cultural in food and drink, obviously our business is related around groceries and liquor.
Yeah.
And that's what we focus with. And obviously with food and liquor comes braaiing with all the meat and stuff. So
yes,
it's a very awesome environment that we're going into with this whole Heritage Day that we've been able to take part in. And again, yeah, it's going to be an awesome event.
All right, so it's in South Africa, I think in any country, but in South Africa, to have a legacy that's literally 30 years old as a business is a very rare thing, because few people have the stamina to take on a day, let alone a 30-year business model and keep evolving it. And I think that is the main thing people forget is when you start a business, and every few years it has to almost completely change to adapt to where the market is. And to be able to keep on doing that for 30 years means that it's a bunch of core people who understand the market but understand the South African consumer. Because the consumer changes the business. You can, as a business, do what you want and try to put out what you want, but if you don't listen to the consumer, then you're going to be lost. So you guys are actually the prime example of what it means. The word feedback means how you built your business. Because you keep on listening, keep on adjusting, and 30 years later, you are in the space, you are bigger than ever, and now about to also just add a world record to it, say, listen, just while we've been doing food and liquor for a long time, let's also break a record and do the biggest braai in the world ever. So I think that's a part where, as a brand, there's a lot of brands in South Africa that could have done this. And you guys were the brand that says, we'll man up. We'll man up and be the guys to break this record. And then it belongs to you guys, and it's up to anybody in South Africa to try and break it. But I think it will be a Big Safe record for a very long time. And also, I think you guys will keep on building on what we're doing this year, 24 September at Loftus, doing the world's biggest braai.
Yeah, and what I think we're also trying to do is what maybe separates it is that we don't just want to own it ourselves. We're inviting people to come to the day and to own part of that record as Rian, as Tony, as Dylan, being people who are physically there.
Yes.
And they are the ones partaking. They can leave that record being just as much of a record holder as what Big Save is. Yes, our name's on the certificate, but you're the person who made it happen. And this is also sort of the reason why a brand like Big Save did this over any other brand, is because we value the relationships that we have with our customers, with our suppliers. And it's a very people-centric business. And it's what I learned from these guys growing up as well, is that even though, you need to be serious in terms of the deals you make and everything like that, at the end of the day, it's not businesses dealing with businesses, it's people dealing with other people. And it's the relationships that you're building with those people. And it's something he's so good at getting people on a human level, to say, yes, we're going to discuss business, but apart from that, there's something human about our interactions. And let's get that out of the way first. Let's have a drink, let's have a lach. Make sure we like each other first as people, and then from there we'll move on to the business.
So on the Braai record, you guys are going to have 2,500 consumers breaking the world record. So that's basically what it's going to be. Well, a few rugby players, a few artists, it's going to be a fun thing to do. But at the end of the day, 2,500 people are going to stand there at a braai, flipping a piece of boerewors to break this record. It's going to be quite an epic scene. And it's going to smell. Loftus will never smell the same after this.
It's gonna linger.
It's gonna be a boerewors area. Like, if you don't like the smell of meat, be close at Loftus 24 September. We'll cure you.
Yeah.
It will be our pleasure. Kurt Darren's performing there. Other artists as well. But Kurt's performing there, and he just launched a new song. Did you hear it?
I did.
Yeah. So I think people are going to hop op Spinnekop and oorwurm like crazy on that day. It's going to be... Which other artists are going to be there as well?
So we've got Biggie. We've got Mikasa's going to be headlining, so that's going to be amazing. We've got Good Luck. Bushle G. He's the guy who did the song for the SA20 that happened last year, I think it was. We've got Lee Cole performing as well, and then a couple DJs just to see the day off. And then, after that, our lineup is completely filled. As I spoke on the previous podcast, I, in the beginning, wanted this to be, that we have maybe one relatively well-known artist playing. And now we've got 6 hard hitters all playing on the same stage. So, in terms of the actual day itself, it's gonna be epic.
The castle will flow. The Pepsi and Brandewijn will flow. It's gonna be a good one. And after breaking world record as well, then the party is gonna be on. All right, but we are gonna be doing boerewors rolle. I've been cured of saying hot dog.
Yeah, good.
I slapped myself with a piece of wors. So, because the last time I said hot dogs. Bloody hell, I can't actually believe it. So I'm going to get the boerewors on for us so we can have a lekker boerie and then continue the conversation. I still want to dig into Tony's naughty side a little bit because he's trying to get away from it. So I think while we quickly now cut, we're just going to quickly get a few shots in here and do a 2 down contest with the beer. And
that's what we're good at.
We'll see what happens after this. We'll be back now. Thanks, guys. Right, so I'm on my second beer, Castle. Thank you so much. I never know where to send my hangover calls. I never know where to send it. I know who causes it, but I never know where to send the bill for it. I must figure that out, Castle, at some point. So, Tony, you on the previous show we had Richard on and we talked about Track for Mandela, and he's actually. I plan to go and do that. I must find a way to go and do that. But you did it last year.
Correct.
And how was it?
Well, this whole story came about 2 years ago where one of our partners introduced me to Richard. And Richard, being Richard, came to do his whole story about his Mbumba Foundation, how he helps the girls with caring for girls, and obviously with our business being related to that type of product, we then listed Richard in our stores. And then while doing this whole relationship, it actually started during COVID. Richard then brought us some business to supply food hampers to the rest of the country, doing food drops. But while doing this, he introduces me to the Siya Kolisi, the rugby captain. And they
my captain.
Yeah, he had a foundation where they did this thing with another retailer. And he then put the question to him, he said, listen, why don't you guys climb Kilimanjaro? And that was just after the year of COVID. Yeah. So I told Richard, I said, do you think this temple is going to get to the top of Kilimanjaro? And he says, nah, Tony, you can do it. And us guys in this industry, it's all about networking and socializing and meeting suppliers and meeting your customers. And I don't think people realize, when my kids and partners think it's an outing, I'm actually going to put on my insurance policy that they're going to pay for my damaged liver and kidneys for all the doping and the meat and the trips that we do just to keep the network of the business alive.
Let's keep the network up. Because
Yeah.
once you go, it's done.
100%.
Networking is done.
Because it is a tough job, trust me. Yes, it might sound cool going to all these places,
Yeah.
but the late nights and the doping and it's just hectic.
Yeah.
So I thought, for me to do this Kilimanjaro, I need to cut out. So I told Richard, listen, I'll come back to you. But never did I, put my head to it. So 2 years later, which was 2022, you asked me, and then 2024, actually 2023, we had our golf day, and we always support the Mbumba Foundation, which is the Trek for Mandela team. We support them with their charities, and we then sponsor some of the climbers that go up to Trek for Mandela and stuff. So my CFO, which is Adele, she did it in 2023. So she went up and she got there, and she says it was quite an experience. And she says, boss, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it, and we'll go together. So I thought, geez, if Adele can do it, I can do it. She's a woman, not that we've got issues, men and women, but, us men, we're more, chauvinistic, let's say.
Yes. Yeah.
So I said, no. Came the golf day. I then got the golfers and the suppliers that attended the golf day to obviously contribute to Trek for Mandela. And then I put up my hand and I said, and I will climb in 2024 to see if I would take any more people with me. That night I had so many oaks. Hey, I'll climb, man, this, all the dronkgats that I saw there.
I was going to say, yeah.
They're all committed. Then it came into the year where we all know how to do our applications and fill in, and then, you had to pay for obviously doing the climb.
Yeah.
I saw no one. I thought, geez, these guys they left me hanging. But Adele stuck in and she says, no, I'll go with you. So I thought, let me just switch my brain off from all the nice things of traveling and doping and that. And I did a 6-month training program with them. And that's how I met Richard proper now. Now we used to hike and train and climb stairs, and we go to those Westcliff stairs in Joburg, and then you go to Harties and climb one of those copies. And so the training was consistent, and I was actually starting to enjoy it, because when you're hiking, you actually switch off.
Yeah.
Started realizing that nature is actually quite lekker.
Yes.
And obviously I started behaving and started getting more fit. And in July we went up to Kilimanjaro, and we always do it on the day of Mandela Day, which is the 18th of July. So I did summit, and it was a challenge. It was tough. But after when I came down, it's like a walk in the park. So anybody can do it. You just got to have a proper mindset, behave. Don't think that mountain is just going to accept you, because there's a lot of things that mountain does to you. And I'll be honest, coming back, it's actually made me look at life differently. The porters that was with us taking up our bags and the food, and the way they just run past you, and how they, accommodate for you, and how they push you to actually summit, and they don't like to see failure. And guys, if you have to see poverty, South Africa doesn't have poverty. They might think there's a lot of poor people here, but the poor people up there in Africa are making it work with humility and the things of life.
Yes.
All these value things like iPads and iPhones, it's non-existent there. There it's about nature. And when I got back and I thought, those guys are making it work. They've also got load shedding. They've also got water issues, but they make it work. They're humble. And I thought, geez, maybe I must come back with that attitude back here, which I have. So being here now, I'm not taking stress. I'm not worried about tomorrow. I just, I worry about today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day. And you go with life with optimism. The same way those guys went up to the top with optimism, knowing that we're going to summit. So that was a great experience. And I got to give it to Richard and Simba, which was the guys that actually did the exhibition with us. And I recommend anybody that wants to do something like this, you have to go up with them because they make it worthwhile. I'm a firm patriotic South African with the old Madiba. I see he's there behind you. When you listen to some of his speeches and his quotes, it's actually why we're here today.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that he's mentioned, it's happening, but there's still a lot of work to do. And for me, this was one of those exhibitions was about that.
But I must tell you that with Richard, you know, he's one of the first guys I met in a very long time who has a charity in the NPO behind it and it actually delivers on the work he says he's delivering on. That's one key thing that's, I think, important, but also it takes the people who support it in a journey that they wouldn't normally think of doing. So the way he's approaching, I think, charity work in South Africa is almost, it should become a bit of a framework for other charities. Because what he's doing is delivering on both sides. He's creating an experience for people who support him, which is go, let's go summit this thing, truck from Mandela, let's go. And then what he does with that is he delivers on his promise. And it's just one thing that says, you know, it doesn't matter who you are in life, but the best thing you can do is stop talking and deliver the proof that you are who you say you are. And I see him as one of those guys who actually, when he tells you, like, I want to go just because he said to me, I'm going. I don't want to say no to him. I'm like, okay, I'll go.
No, I'm pushing you. You better go because it's one of those experiences you'll never regret.
No, I'll go and do it because for me, it's like I would love to just. I'm in media, so my life is laptops and cell phones and all that kind of stuff. That's my life, which is fantastic. I'm not complaining, but to be able to just switch off from it for a while and be in an experience like that, I can just imagine how actually it's being in your own head and experiencing people around you helping me to achieve something.
Yeah. So this year around, we said another team went through, and I must compliment the guys that summited this year, because some of those guys came from our golf day last year, which included Kerry, which is she heads up our HR in our business. And I mean, Kerry is Kerry. We all wrote her off because she was told never she's going to make it. And she came back and she did it. So I'm very proud of the fact that she got to do it. She's like she says, it was a struggle, but she came back with a certificate saying I summited Kilimanjaro. And it was awesome to see. And I must tell you, while I was on top of Kilimanjaro, I took up 2 beers and I took up a Johnny Walker whiskey with my ladle. And that was, and I'll be honest, that's what was driving me to get to the top, because I needed to do that video.
Yeah.
And yes, it was tough. So when we opened the bottle to drink, it all came out because of the altitude.
Yes.
But at least I got to do it. So when you go do this mountain climb, you need to take something that you. So that was my motivation, was to take those 2 beers and my Johnny Walker with my ladle to show the rest of the guys that I did make it, because I was also written off by a lot of the oaks to say, yeah, this porro is never going to get to the top.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you know my lifestyle, the social life doesn't make up for what I achieved up there.
Listen, they should have just told you have to go open a fruit and veg shop.
Yeah.
You'd have walked in reverse.
No, but it was awesome.
So on the ladle, there's a bit of a reputation and a story behind you. So just a quick delve in. So you've got this ladle, this wooden spoon.
Yes.
That apparently travels with you.
No, well, it started many years ago at we have a Big Save suppliers lunch, which was just started as a normal, like, appreciation day for our suppliers.
Yeah.
And I believe in business, you work hard, but you still need the fun side of work. And our dads, from coming into business, they worked very hard, but they never had fun.
Okay.
So I always try and bring the fun side into work. So that 1 year at our suppliers Braai, it started off with like 80 people, and then it became 120. Eventually, I think we finished on 300 people over the years. So we used to feed them proper Portuguese cultural food, which was your chicken peri peri with espetada and the prawns, and it became a hit year after year. And the 1 year, and I can't remember which year, we ran out of shooter glasses. So the shooter glasses were gone. So I was looking for something, and I've got this drink that I drink, which is a Portuguese brandy called 1920. So they normally drink that Portuguese brandy with a espresso coffee. And it's like an aperitif after dinner or after a meal. But us, in South Africa, we're good for damaging culture, when it comes to alcohol or something like that. There's always some oak that will do something stupid. And I then found this ladle in the kitchen, and I took that 1920 and I started pouring it to all the guests that were there. And they said, "Hey, what's with the spoon?" I said, "I can't find any shooter glasses, so we were going to have it." So that day, in Portuguese, they call it the sponha. Sponha is a soup spoon.
Yeah.
So we now call it, "Hey, where's your sponha ladle?" So now it's become a tradition. So it sits in my golf bag, okay? And I actually took it from one of my wife's cutlery sets. So I used to have a big one, and that big one, by the ninth hole, the oaks were swearing each other. Other oaks were phoning their wives, already fluking each other. So that big spoon was creating havoc. So I took that spoon back to the cutlery set, and I swapped it with a smaller one. So that smaller one now lives in my golf bag, and it's got a little string so that I don't lose it. And it's been sitting there for many years, and it's become a tradition in the industry with my customers and suppliers and friends that are related to our business. And it creates a vibe, it creates the fun side of life. And I think that spoon is going to be, I don't know, one of those patented marks.
On your tombstone one day.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
what they should find a way of doing is to put a mic in that spoon. And then the stories we would hear.
Yeah, no,
if
yes.
That spoon could talk.
But I must tell you, in life, those little things, which I didn't realize until that day that it happened at the Lapa, that it actually became a mark to a lot of people, and they remember you for that.
Yes.
So don't take the small things for granted. That thing of me running out of shooter glasses and that spoon coming out, was appreciated by many people.
Yeah.
So I just took it to the next level and just thought, okay, you know what? I don't need shooter glasses now. I'm just going to keep that thing in.
Yeah.
And every time I go on an overseas trip with suppliers, they already know, hey, here's the guy with the spoon. So
the spoon's coming
the spoon's coming
with the spoon.
Yeah.
It's been to most of the World Cup rugbies. So it was in Japan, it was in France, it was in England.
Yeah.
And I've been honest, this industry, I've been very blessed with all the spoils of the invites from the brands that take us through there. And it creates memories, but those relationships are important. Yeah. And I think to this event that's coming up on the 24th, the support that we're getting from the brands has been awesome. And I think it's those small things that they value on why they want to participate with us. I mean, even though we're not seen as a corporate brand, but we actually mean something to our suppliers that we have.
Yeah.
And
a relationship, a real one.
Yeah,
Not just one for business, one that's actually real. Very important thing.
No, sure.
So I think what we'll get you to do on the day of the world's biggest braai is feed 2.5.
Yes.
People to speak.
But there's a problem with that because some of the guys are clever. They make me one have with them. And by the time I'm...
Now he's going to have 2,500 spoons himself.
Yeah, and I must say there's been a couple of suppliers' braais where I've gone missing. So I'll end up sleeping underneath the table. And then everybody is now looking for me, and it's not a nice thing to have. So you know, in the company, I'm branded as the CEO, okay? But I don't like titles, okay? But when I look at that CEO, I already get told, you're the chief entertainment officer. So I'd rather stick it like that instead of being the executive.
Yes.
I'd rather leave the executive for everybody else,
Yes.
and I'll just keep the fun side of
You know,
of
also,
business.
you know, there's nothing wrong with just disappearing from an event. They say people who don't say goodbye to events save 30 days a year.
That's not a lie.
not a lie. So, guys, the boerewors is done. I'm
Okay,
going to boil
cool.
us some boeries quickly, and we can have a bite, and then, yeah, do a last cheers. But it's been great, Dylan, again, having you guys here. You know, every show we do, I think about this thing, the world's biggest braai. And as we do this and we get momentum and we talk to people, everybody's kind of understanding that, you know, I think the thing that most people are surprised with is that we don't have it. So you're bringing something home that should have been here a long time. So as a brand, the decision you guys made to do this was actually a decision to say to the consumers of this country, guys, let's just wake up for something quickly. We braai almost every single day in this country somewhere. People are braaiing now as we're doing this. We just braaied. So you guys are doing something that should be here already. And in my opinion, after you guys have done this, it won't leave this country. And if it does, from here on end, we know we've got big save to go. Thank you for doing it. It's coming back again.
100%.
So it's something that you guys are doing that I feel is so important. Doesn't matter from what walk of life you are in this country. Every single day, millions of people do two things. They make a fire and they put meat on it and they make food. And that's what you guys are doing is so important that as we do these shows and build up to the event, I think on that day, the most beautiful shot of the whole event will be a shot from the top as 2,500 people braai boerewors, and that, now drones can't smell, but I imagine that the people who are going to watch that video
for 5Ks away,
will most likely lick their screens. So thank you for that. Let's make a boerie and end this one.
Yeah, you know, if I could just close off. For me, this whole thing is being, like I've always said, I'm optimistic about South Africa, even though we've got Portuguese heritage. The patriotism about seeing the unification that this braai will bring. Because in our market, you know, we service the lower end of the market. And that to me is where the hub starts. You know, when you smell those guys braaiing, those chis and yamas, you know, and you see our guys in the suburb braaiing their wors in the T-bone, there's nothing wrong by bringing everybody together. And I think what Dylan has created here is about bringing everyone together to break that world record as a unified nation or a unified community. And for Big Safe to be a part of it, and let's hope it sits in that Guinness Book of Record book printed for a long time. It's something that we can be proud of. So I think also well done to you guys for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're going to bring the fun side of life. We know there's bad things happening out there, but we must ignore those things, let them sort it out, and let's just carry on living about having proper beer, proper boerewors, having a lekker braai, and hoping that all the rugby results and soccer results and all the sports,
Fighting results.
Fighting results.
That's what South Africa is about. It's a sporting nation, and that, I think that's our politics. You know, we look at that before the other politicians in Parliament. They need to go learn and understand how the sports is working so that they can achieve the same results.
I agree with you fully, and I think it's a safe statement to make that braaiing might be the only colourless thing this country actually has, and that then goes into sport as well. This is an event that all of us do and all of us enjoy, and all of us also enjoy with the dog, and it makes us feel South African. If anything, cheers to that. Let's make some boeries. So guys, let's have a cheers and eat some boeries. Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right there, sir. Go.
Thank you.
Dylan.
My favorite part.
The favorite part, eating. Guys, we always cheers, Boerewors, and that's what we're doing here. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers.
cheers.
Biggest Braai, 24th September.
Yes.
Loftus. See you guys there. Thank you very much.
Cheers.